second. Just a second.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Ad Lib Podcast. Today is episode number 67. I hope everyone is all good and Gucci. It's good to have Joe back on the podcast, and it's Joe and Franco and me, so the whole gang is back.
The Holy Trinity is back.
Yes. How's it going, Joe? It's been a while now. Been a couple of weeks, I think.
Yeah, like I can't remember the last time it was all three of us, because Franco and I have kind of been going like one for one on the podcast. So no, it's good. It's making me feel a little bit nostalgic, I'll be honest.
I mean, because unlike Andrea, we are busy men. No, Andrea is a teacher. I mean, he's got all those holidays.
The holidays right now.
Exactly. The teachers, they get holiday time. Their work day ends at 3 as well.
Exactly. We are working men. Teachers should not. Are not.
We have it worse as well, because we're creatives as well. We have the worst end of the stick.
Can't disagree on that.
Lots of TikToks and whatnot. You do TikToks as well, Joe?
Yes, we hit all forms of social media, from LinkedIn all the way to TikTok.
But I think with you is that at least you're allowed to film horizontally. I always have to keep the camera like horizontal.
I film everything horizontally, and if need be, we just crop in.
You're lucky, because I can't, because I really lose. Unfortunately, I lose the vertical space, and but. Listen, I'm looking forward to film back in horizontally soon, because I'm trying to do some sort of stuff away from work. But let's see. Anyway,
you should apply for a teaching job, Franco. Franco, you'd make a good teacher.
You
would make a very good teacher. You would make a very, very good teacher. Are there any film courses, like anything dealing with?
There's a master's in film, and the communications course I did has multiple film units in it. So,
I mean, if you want your kids to not to rebel against their parents, I'd better not be a teacher.
True. So, Franco, how's it going? Because I didn't ask you.
I'm good. Really enjoyed the Godzilla and Kong yesterday. Like, we did enjoy it a lot, right, Andrea?
We did.
We did, yeah.
I know I didn't.
He didn't get it, but it's an April Fool's, obviously.
I was going to say, am I being trapped or something?
I don't know if you saw my letterboxd. But I
haven't even logged like the films I've last watched on Letterboxd, to be fair.
I'll let my thoughts known very clearly later on in the podcast, because I'll use this as a segue then to talk about what we're going to be talking about today. With regard to trailers and news, we do not have a lot. Obviously, we'll start off the podcast by talking a little bit about what we've been watching in the past week. A few movies and series. Actually, I've not really watched too much either this week, so there's that. With regard to news, we have the unfortunate news of Chance Perdomo and his very, very sad loss. We'll talk about that. We'll just mention, obviously, the trailer for The Penguin, which we missed out on last week. Last week, I missed out couple of big ones. I missed out on that one. And then Franco thankfully reminded me of the Alien Romulus trailer as well, which I forgot to mention. But last week was like, we had like 8 big trailers to talk about.
Yep.
I
mean, there's a trailer for Bad Boys Ride or Die. I literally have nothing to say about that.
Really? I had no idea that came out.
That's the fifth one.
That's the fourth one. That's the fourth one.
No, there was another one. There was another one for sure.
There's Bad Boys. Bad Boys 2. Bad Boys for Life. Is there a Bad Boys 3?
I think it's the
Bad
fourth
Boys
one.
for Life is the third one. Which is why I was saying, why the hell did they put Bad Boys for Life as the third title when it's the obvious fourth title, right? For Life.
Yeah, that was, yeah.
And that was really weird. So no, it's the fourth one. I think it's the fourth one. Ride or Die. I have no thoughts about that, so I think we can just mention and skip it. What I have a lot of thoughts about is the article about Alex Garland saying he's going to retire from directing. We'll get into that. I think we all have thoughts about that. We all big fans of Alex Garland. And then we have the reviews. We've got a lot of reviews. We've got The Truth versus Alex Jones, which I'm very curious to hear Franco's thoughts about. The Max documentary. We've got Immaculate. We've got Godzilla x Kong, The New Empire. We've got lots of thoughts about that. And, oh my God, remind me again, the David Desmalchian film, Joe.
Late Night with the Devil.
With the Devil. I'm really looking forward to watching that. And I'd like to hear your thoughts, Joe, as well, about the whole AI controversy there was with regard to that film. I know there was a...
spoilers, it's bullshit. People are being babies.
All right, because I know there were some people of the whole AI thing.
Yeah, it is so minuscule.
yeah, exactly. It's not like the whole movie was made by AI.
No,
it's just those 3 frames.
And I'll say it from now, it is definitely not like a hugely budgeted film. And I imagine because basically all they used it for, because it's framed as a TV show, for the ad breaks, of a message coming up of we'll be right back kind of thing. They used AI apparently to generate those images. Now, if you were tightly budgeted and you had someone like David Desmalchian in your film, and there's quite a bit of special effects used in the film as well, so obviously budget is going towards that. And let's say they were like, we need these designs, but we don't have a graphic designer. So you go to a graphic designer and you say, look, I need 4 of these kind of designs. And they go, okay, for 4 of those, it's going to be $2,000. But then you go, with AI, I can do it for free.
True
that is when, for the kind of guerrilla or low budget filmmaking where AI is an incredible tool to help people get things made. It should never replace. And if you have the budget to pay an artist to do it by all means. But if you're tight and you need the budget for something else, makes sense.
Yep,
100% agree.
Agreed.
If you have the budget, pay the artist.
Shall we get into it then, guys? Shall we start off with what we've been watching the past week, Joe? What have you been up to?
So for me, I actually did watch some things in the past week. I'm probably late to the party, but I watched Quiet on Set, the Nickelodeon documentary. I don't know if you guys covered this before.
I did.
That ruined a lot of my formative years.
Told you.
I watched the latest episode of Shogun. Which
let's get into that, Joe.
I'm loving every single episode, and we'll review it later. But I watched Immaculate, unfortunately, and I watched Late Night with the Devil.
Do you want to talk about Shogun now, Joe? I think we can talk about it now,
sure.
Since we talk about series. I know it's probably the slowest episode we've had so far, right? I would say, with regard to, because it's
probably yes, but there was probably the most jumping back and forth between different characters and what they were doing. Now it's getting to the really spicy section of the political intrigue and what's gonna go down.
Yes, I'm loving the entrance of Lady Ochiban into the game.
Yes,
she seems like a really spicy cat.
As a fan of the book, I was waiting for it, and I'm just yes, here it comes.
She is something. She is a character. Loving that. I thought the sexual tension in this episode was out of this world. That touch. Oh my God. That touch is worth more than 1,000 sex scenes in a movie. Jesus, man.
Yeah.
So much sexual tension. And the way the camera was positioned in that scene, and the place where what's her name? The
Kiku?
Where Kiku stands, and it's as if she's speaking from Mariko's point of view. The blocking in that scene was out of this world. This is I think, Joe, I don't know about you, but for me, I haven't watched a TV series this well shot, well produced in ages, I think.
It's shaping up, and if they pull it off, it's shaping up to be one of the best of the 21st century. That we've seen by far. And it's funny because it is led by a showrunner, as most TV is, by the writers, and they're going with different directors on each episode, but there's a really nice style that is coherent throughout. But I think my favorite thing that the show is doing, because one of the differences in the book being written by an Australian man who was a prisoner of war, he can kind of delve into some ridiculous things here and there. I like one of the bits I like about the show is that they've left out a lot of interactions with the crew. because early on you spend a lot of time with the crew when they're in the pit and stuff like that, and a lot of their interactions are kind of like they're just like so like tired and depressed and like hungry and stuff, and they keep saying stuff like, "Oh, by God, I could use an ale right now," and like, they just like it's very good a mission that they've done. But what I like the most is the book sometimes goes into a bit more. I wouldn't say totally unnecessary detail. Some of it is necessary when you're reading a book to paint a picture. But in certain things, like you say, like with the sex scene and stuff, the book goes as far to describe what John Blackthorne's penis is like in pretty good detail. And I like that the show is very good at painting a picture without having to show you anything.
This will be 10 episodes. It will be 10 episodes still.
It's very ungratuitous in that way. And it's better for it.
Yeah. Agreed. Very tasteful as well. Very tastefully done as well. So overall, I'm pleased. I'm glad we got a lot of character like background for Mariko and like her history, her family history, and where the tension is. And obviously now this episode is going to be really important when we get, I don't know, I haven't read the book, so I'm not 100% sure about where this is going. But I'm seeing a lot of tension between Mariko and obviously Lady Ochiba. I might be wrong here, but that relationship, I'm sure, is pretty important. That's pointed out.
Well, I know that he becomes the Muad'Dib. That's all I know. Lisa Al-Gaib.
But it's great stuff. Really great stuff. Any other series you're watching, Joe, right now?
No, actually. I'm kind of now like I'm looking for something like small to fill my time in between, because the Shogun I normally watch as soon as it comes out, and then I go, what do I watch for the rest of the week?
I've got a couple now. I'll talk about maybe.
I'm also just like I don't know what I want at this point in time. Like I didn't get into the 3-body problem. I'm not really interested in that. To be honest. I don't know. I feel like I want something wholesome. I want something wholesome which is just easily digestible, but I can still buy into it. Maybe I
have one, Joe, for you. So I'll talk about it later on when I talk about the series.
Okay.
Because I have a few series I'm watching right now. I have one. I probably know what I'm talking about already. Franco, go for it.
Go for it. It's best to suggest.
Wait a minute. Let me talk about the series I'm watching. So X-Men '97, Joe.
Okay.
Very, very good. I'm surprised by how good it is. I know Ethan, he's watching the podcast right now. He's watching it as well. We are talking about this weekend. I'm surprised by how good it is. So obviously there's lots of nostalgia bait going on, but it's not just nostalgia bait. I think the dialogue and the writing in it is excellent. I think it touches on a lot of very good political themes in it. Obviously, as many people have said, it is very woke, just as it was woke in the 90s as well.
It's the X-Men.
It's the X-Men. I found it very, very entertaining to see lots of Twitter users being like, X-Men has gone woke. Oh my God.
And it's like, people know why the X-Men was made.
Have you looked at the comics? Have you watched the 90s animated show? Like, that was super woke. Jesus. And it's all the better for it because the political themes are tackled in a surprisingly mature way. I'm really surprised by how mature the political themes are touched upon. Great dialogue. Magneto has one monologue which gave me goosebumps, literal goosebumps. Like the way he tackles the political adversaries and how to deal with political adversaries in a really mature way, really mature way. So I'm having a blast. The animation style is what it is, obviously. There's the whole nostalgia element of it all. It might feel slightly dated at times, but to be fair, in some of the action scenes, the action scenes are really well done. There's one shot with Cyclops falling down and then using his laser to drop down, and that scene was goosebumps. Goosebumps. It's really good. I'm really surprised how good it is. There goes my camera. One sec. Yeah, I'm gonna change it.
Atin says, yes, great series, watching the old episodes as well.
Yeah, and I'm having a really good time. I had a really good time watching the old episodes as well. It's a really quality series. So that's 30 minutes, Joe. I think you'd like it. Very much. So there's that. I've been watching Manhunt. Now I'm on episode 3 of Manhunt. It's basically the story of I think we had reacted to the trailer for it. It's basically the manhunt for the assassin of Abe Lincoln, John Wilkes Booth. The first episode kind of tackles the whole assassination element and the theater. Everyone knows that's right. It's not really a spoiler. How John Wilkes Booth.
What happened?
How John Wilkes Booth assassinated President Lincoln, and then the rest of the show is basically the manhunt for John Wilkes Booth, who ironically was a very famous actor. So very recognizable face, and it's interesting to see kind of like how he was supported by the Confederacy, where the money was going to help him, and so on. I think it's a very slow burn, very slow burn, but I think it's very well done, a very well done show. What's his name? Tobias Menzies. I don't know how to pronounce his surname. Menzies.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, Tobias Menzies.
He is very good. He's an excellent actor. As Edwin Stanton. There's Anthony Boyle, who I had been watching on, what was I watching him on? The World War II series, Masters of the Air. Who was also on Masters of the Air, very good on Masters of the Air, and he's excellent in this one as well. So, it's a good cast. It's a very interesting topic. Warning: it's a bit slow. It is a bit slow, but if you accept the pacing for what it is, it's very well done. I think even with regard to historical accuracy and so on, they seem to be paying a lot of attention. I started the first episode of A Gentleman in Moscow, which I had a good time. Not a great show or anything, but I think it's a fun show. We reacted to the trailer a couple of weeks ago. Franco, I think it was me and you, or you, Joe. No, it was you, Joe. It was you, Joe. We had reacted to the trailer. It's fine. It's fine. Not a must watch or anything, but it's a fine show. Quite fun. The production design is surprisingly very good. I don't know, guys. Have you read the book, A Gentleman in Moscow? Apparently a very, very popular book. Ewan McGregor, obviously, very good in it. I mean, he's a great actor, right? And it's a role he was looking forward to working on. There's his wife as well in it. In fact, there was a bit of controversy. There was, what do you call when you've got a lot of sex scenes in a movie? They have an intimacy coordinator, and
yes,
that was weird. Why do you have an intimacy coordinator when it's husband and wife on the show? And then they said it's because of the rest of the cast and crew, kind of like. So the sex scenes are husband and wife, right? I'm guessing they don't need an intimacy coordinator, but the intimacy coordinator was for the rest of the cast and crew. It's like, that makes sense, to be fair. Because I saw some controversy about this on Twitter, right? But I mean, it's Twitter, so. That's pretty much what I've been watching with regard to series. Then with regard to movies, the story continues from the old ones. Do you have to watch the old ones to enjoy it? To enjoy it, I would say yes. It's good to have an idea. It's good to have an idea of what kind of. If I were you, I'd watch the like top 10 episodes of the old X-Men animated series. Watch the final episode, and then start the new X-Men 97 show. Because if you miss out on there's a lot of characters, and you need to know kind of like a bit about these characters. You need to know a little bit about why there's like sexual tension between Rogue and Magneto, for example. You need to know what's going on between Jean and Wolverine, for example. These relationships have been developed through years of shows, right? And even in the movies, but the movies don't do it very well. The show does it much better. So yes, Ash, I would recommend, like Ethan said, I would recommend watching the old ones. You're still going to enjoy it. Don't get me wrong. You're still going to enjoy it, but you're going to miss out on a lot of these small nuances, small character moments, for example. So I would recommend checking out the old show. And the old show is very good as well. I mean, it's a very, very well done show. Lots of filler, but still very well done. With regard to movies, guys, I watched Incendies, the Denis Villeneuve. And that was a hard-hitting movie. I watched it with my family. And when that moment came...
You watched that with your family?
Yes.
Fuck! I don't think I tell my family that I've watched that film.
It was our Easter Sunday happy movie to watch.
Jesus Christ.
The bus scene broke me.
I have that film on Blu-ray, and I've had it for about like 4 months now, and I haven't had the courage to watch it again.
Very tough watch. But this is this kind of film is the kind of film where you're like, man, this director is fucking talented as hell.
Even if you go back before this, have you seen Polytechnic?
No, I was missing Incendia and Polytechnic. Polytechnic is next.
That's another really tough one.
Really? Okay.
Yes. I mean, it's about a school shooting that happened in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
It's that one shooting that told that Canada said, okay, no more guns.
Yeah, you know, in Canada being sensible, they went, this happened once, okay, but get rid of guns.
Yeah, smart. But yeah, this is a tough watch, but it's I mean, if you haven't watched it, guys, viewers in the chat, it's highly recommended. I think it's a must watch. It's a must watch for everyone.
It is a stomach turning film, though.
It is. And the way it kind of it's not 100% about the civil war in Lebanon, but it's clearly taking heavy inspiration from that.
Yeah, when I say it's a stomach turning film, not because like it's like gory or stuff like that, but
no.
There's just a particular moment when everything comes together, and the way it's done is just so unspoon feedy, but you just get it completely, and it's like someone slapped you across the face.
Yeah, the 1 + 1 = 1. Oh my god.
Yeah,
that was Jesus. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, I remember I was just like,
oh, even the sniper scene, the sniper scene.
Yeah,
jeez, man, that's so well directed.
I think I need to watch it again now.
That was that moment with the first shot. Boom, you lost your man.
Yeah, really,
that was great,
really good.
That and the bus scene. Oh, so heartbreaking, so harsh. Not like it's. I wish directors were this brave.
Yeah,
more directors were this brave. I left out the more there. More directors were this brave. Like, it's obvious. The thing that happens at the end of that scene, it's obvious, right? Many directors wouldn't be brave enough to do that, to show that happening. And then the whole burning scene, the way it's directed. This is a stunning movie. Stunning, tough watch, but stunning. Stunning stuff. So I highly recommend checking it out. But go in prepared to cry and have an emotional roller coaster.
You're a psychopath.
No, I didn't cry. But I was emotionally touched watching this. All right, guys, that's pretty much it. Viewers in the chat, let us know what you've been up to in the past couple of weeks. What have you been watching? Shows, movies, let us know in the comment section below. We'd love to hear what you've been up to. And don't forget to leave a like, and don't forget to subscribe. Subscriptions really, really help us push out more content. So with that, guys, I'm going to move on to very, very unfortunate news. It's the kind of news you don't want to see. But I was really shocked. I had a very good time watching Gen V when it released. And one of the big reasons why I had such a very good time watching Gen V was because of Chance Perdomo and his great performance in that show. Because unfortunately, Chance Perdomo, who starred in The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina and Gen V, has died at the age of 27. And the cause of that was a motorcycle accident, as reported by his representatives, who told The Hollywood Reporter. His passion for the arts and insatiable appetite for life was felt by all who knew him, and his want will carry on in those who he loved dearest. We ask to please respect the family's wish for privacy as they mourn the loss of their beloved son and brother. Guys, I don't know if you've ever seen Chance Perdomo in any show or movie.
Unfortunately not.
Yeah, unfortunately not.
But this is a very, very, very sad loss at the age of 27, man. Oh, God, man. And he was so good in Gen V. He was so good. Very tough role and great performance.
Goosebumps. 27 Club, another. Man, that numbers.
He was brilliant in Gen V. I agree, Ash. He was brilliant in Gen V. One of the best performers in that show. He didn't have an easy role. He didn't have an easy role at all. But so heartbreaking to hear, man, at the age of 27. He had his whole life ahead of him. Great talent. Had finally had his big shot, and his big shot was a massive hit in Gen V. They were or starting to work on season 2 of Gen V. So it's like even more work and even more great future. And just this accident just puts an end to that all. Man, heartbreaking, really heartbreaking. Yeah. But Straborn in 1996, I can't believe it. But unfortunately, that is life. That's why it's important to live and enjoy every day, because you never know what's going to happen. So rest in peace, Chance Perdomo. And with that, just wanted to mention a couple of trailers. Last week, we missed out on the trailer of The Penguin. Guys, I don't know if you watched it. I'm not going to go into too much detail. Just a small comment about it. Do you like the trailer?
So far, it seems it seems quite interesting. Like it's going into the right direction.
It looks like the Batman. So
yep,
that's good.
Yes, yep. How long is it going to be?
I don't know. I don't know if it's reported.
And all Matt Reeves as well, or
I forgot
Matt Reeves.
Kristen Milioti. I like her a lot.
Yeah.
And Clancy Brown, very good casting.
Very good casting. Really good casting. Apparently, the focus is going to be on what's his name?
On Salvatore
Moroni. Salvatore Moroni, exactly. Who's going to be kind of like the competition for Penguin, right? Because obviously, Oz will be looking to take over Gotham, the underground of Gotham, and his competition will be Salvatore Moroni. I'm guessing that's going to be the storyline. I really don't see the point of the Penguin. Sorry, but that's my 2 cents. I would have thought that Ash before watching the Batman, but after watching the Batman and seeing how amazing Colin Farrell was in the role, I was like, give me more. I want more. And by how well the Batman portrayed the underground of Gotham City, I'm just like, Jesus, this needs more development. This needs more time. And I'm all here. If they can maintain that gritty dark tone in the show, I think they've got a massive hit for this. And I think people will be flocking to go and watch The Penguin. I don't know about you guys.
Imnalla, those 2 cents don't mean shit in this economy, Ash. Sorry, just joking. Just joke. No. I mean, at first as well, I jokes apart, I do see what Ash thought process is, because at first I was like, do we really need a penguin show? But so far it's piquing my interest. So it's quite it seems like a quite well made movie as well. I'll see it.
It does. I'm loving the tone. I mean, we know Colin Farrell has already shown us he's more than capable of portraying the Penguin. Yes. So I'm all here for it. And he also has Sugar as well, right? On the I'm really looking forward to that one. That one I'm really looking forward to. Very much looking forward to that one.
That's noir, right?
Yes, apparently so. Apparently so. Yeah. Murder mystery, right?
It looks like your typical like seedy underbelly of LA, and everything is not as it seems. So.
Yeah. But it's Colin Farrell, so that's always a big plus.
Exactly.
Always a big plus. So there's that, and then I mean there was Bad Boys, right? I mean, good about you guys. I really don't have any thoughts about that.
I want to listen to Ash's 2 cents on this one, actually, about Bad Boys. No, not. Yeah. What do you guys think of another Bad Boys? I think here, let's say it immediately. This is like Fast and Furious. People love this movie franchise. I don't know how. Like, I love the Batman, his performance, but yeah, man. All right, Ash. This franchise is quite well loved here. Sugar looks good.
Yeah, all right. It does. That definitely does look good.
And what do the guys think here about the Bad Boys? Another Bad Boys, you know?
I think it's Will Smith trying to revitalize his career.
Indeed.
By doing something familiar, which he was loved for.
Indeed.
Exactly.
Do you remember, Joe, was it me and you who reviewed Emancipation?
Yes.
Yes, you did.
God.
You did.
Oh my God, Emancipation. What the hell was that? That was such a weird movie.
It was the grayest movie I've ever seen. It wasn't in black and white.
The grayest movie.
It was just gray.
Oh, gray. That color tone was so bewildering.
It was like they shot everything in fucking S-Log RAW and just didn't color correct. That's what it looked like. To be like camera nerdy about it, that's what it looked like.
Oh no, Keith! Do not disrespect the Bad Boys franchise. Listen, Keith, the Bad Boys franchise makes a lot of money. To be fair,
yeah,
a lot of money.
It's my right to disrespect it, and I will. I will disrespect it.
See, told you. As said, Bad Boys is one of my favorite franchises. Bruce also said Oscar season starting early. Yes, apparently he's gonna slap Martin Lawrence around as well.
Wouldn't be surprised.
Oh my god! But I'm not into this franchise at all. So like, for me, it's just okay. Sure.
Controversial opinion. The first two aren't even that good.
I only watched the first one, to be fair. I know the third one is highly regarded. I haven't watched it, so I can't comment about it.
The first one's okay. The second one was like...
The first one was like when Michael Bay was like at like the peak of his powers. Where like
yes, exactly.
For lack of a better term, he could do no wrong. Where people just really cared about the spectacle and not about the story.
Exactly.
But
look at this guy's Bad Boys for Life was the top grossing film of 2020.
Yeah, but okay, but 2020. What happened in 2020?
It was a pandemic, sure, but still. I mean,
like what? 7
Dune,
films
right?
released that year? No,
we had Dune.
One was Dune.
Dune was 2021. All right.
Yeah.
There was also what's his name? The Tenet. The movie that was supposed to bring back
Godzilla.
But Tenet, they tried to release it like in between lockdowns. That's the problem.
Yeah. So anyways, Bad Boys Ride or Die opens in theaters on June 7, 2024. I won't be there.
But I really love it. I grew up with it. True. Yeah, I'm being the none of the three. Yeah, Bad Boys was a staple, especially on Italian TV as well.
That's true.
I mean,
That's true.
I grew up reading Harry Potter. I moved on.
You're agreeing, Joe, with what's her name? Oh, the actress who was...
Yes, absolutely. Yes, I am.
Oh my God, what's her name? She was the...
Margaret Margoyle, I believe.
I think so. She was...
Yeah, Margaret Margoyle, yeah.
Basically, in a nice way, she told them, fucking grow up.
Grow up.
Yeah.
Oh. and the top comment that I laughed so much. She's off her meds. Someone give her meds. Because she commented about it like 2 times in a month. It's like, what's going on here? And then she said she refused a 500, I don't know how much it was, 500,000 contract with Marvel for a movie. And everyone's like, what's she doing? Because she asked for $1 million contract to be in a Marvel movie. And they were like, the most we can go with is 500,000. And she refused. Everyone's like, what's going on here?
She knows her worth.
Knowing their worth, yeah, I guess. I mean,
she knows her worth.
There's a lot of things I do for $500,000.
Yeah. I'm like,
we would, but we're speaking about Margaret Margoyle. She has experience.
Yes. But like, she's not the most in-name ever. Yes, but she's not the most in-name actress, and I mean 500,000.
Yes, but I mean the royalties she's probably getting consistently from the Harry Potter franchise as well. No, that's true. That's true. And her argument was, I don't really need to do this, right? I don't really need to do this. So. Exactly. She definitely doesn't.
Anyways.
I don't think she's one for like a particularly lavish lifestyle. I could be wrong.
No. She was the teacher of her
herbology.
Herbology. She was the
Why do I know this shit?
Joe. I thought you told us to grow up.
Yes, I just have a good memory.
Bad Boys was actually my favorite film of 2020. Bad Boys better than Tenet. Harry Potter hate too. I need to find that guy and have a talk. No, it's the actress, Ash, the actress who was
Margaret Margoyle or Margoyle.
What's her surname?
Margoyles. Like gargoyle, but with an M.
Okay, Margoyles. Oh, she's not coming up on my IMDb. For some reason.
What's happened? I thought they were doing a live action gargoyles, right? What happened with that? Disney.
Hopefully it died. Just like the Blade movie. Hopefully they went like, let's just sweep this away.
No. They're still
Also,
still trying to revive it. Apparently, I forgot.
To clarify for Ash as well, I don't hate Harry Potter. I used to really like Harry Potter. It's fine if you still like it. I'm just a hater. It's fine.
No, actually, I still love Harry Potter.
Yes, we've been through this with
Hogwarts Legacy game was amazing. I had such a good time playing that game. It got so much hate, but still, it was the highest grossing video game of 2023. Yes. So there's that. And for some reason, the lesson that Warner Brothers took from that was, okay, we should take that game and turn it into a live service game, so we'll make more money, right? Yeah. That's the lesson you learn from releasing a single player game with a solid single player experience, with a solid quests and a solid experience going around Hogwarts. And the lesson you get out of it, being the game to sell the most in 2023, is let's take that game, but add live service elements to it. That's what everyone wants, right? Because everyone loves live service. Oh, such a frustrating world to live in. Anyways, moving on, because this is another bit of news that they upset me. But it's a strange character, right? Alex Garland. He's a character. He's director.
Yes.
But I saw the news on Facebook. Yeah, Warner Brothers smoking heavy shit. Yes, they are. I saw this news on Facebook, and I was surprised, not entirely surprised, because from the interviews I see from Alex Garland, he seems to be the kind of guy who really he reflects a lot about life, and he takes things to heart a lot from what I've seen. Anyways, long story short, Alex Garland has said that he's retiring from directing. I do actually love film, but filmmaking doesn't exist in a vacuum. And I have a bit of a fleeting suspicion that it's the pushback he has received for Civil War has really affected him. I don't know about you guys. What do you think? Franco, I know you had some comments about it.
There was I know that the conversation around it, or discourse, was that it was both siding this issue. And immediately people were like, California and Texas, like seceding from the US. It was a bit strange, but learning more about how California is formed, like there are many like people think that it is Texas that is more Republican, but California also has its fair share of Republicans as well. And plus, like there was a proto-Trump in a place next to Anaheim and Huntington Beach. I learned recently. I forgot what's his name, Joseph Seitz. But anyway, that's one thing. Because even I don't know if he was misquoted or not, but he's saying, "Oh, polarization. That like both sides have their thing." Like, as far as I know, the left didn't kill people as much as others who posted their manifestos online saying some really twisted shit about Jews and Muslims and whatnot. I don't know, but at the end of reading this, I'm not gonna comment about Civil War before I see it. That's for sure. This is not Sound of Freedom, where it was already, and now even more so. Sound of Freedom. It was like what was it? That it was found how fraudulent the story is, and there's lots of plot holes in the real life story, not just the movie. Civil War, it's a fictional movie, it's a what if movie. I have to wait and see how it is. So far it's garnering quite a lot of positive reviews. Guardian gave it 3. I think it's our friend of the show, Peter Strickland. was it
Peter Bradshaw?
Peter Bradshaw. To be honest, I'm like, I think we're over the issue of cancellation and SJWs. That is very 2016. You know, we're now in 2024, and we're seeing the other side doing its SJW stuff. Recently they cancelled Clendon Owens. And listen to this, because she was pro-Palestine, out of all things, that they took her off. Yes. No, cancelled by her own, by the right, huh? Like by her company as well. Like they fired her from Daily Wire because Ben Shapiro didn't want any of it. The guy who LARPs as a Jew. Sorry, he's not. I don't feel he's a real Jew.
Joe, what do you think about this? I know you're a big fan of Alex Garland.
Yeah, I have a lot of thoughts. Cards on the table, Alex Garland is one of my favorite writers of all time. I think, bar probably The Beach, which I actually think was an issue with who he decided to pair with as a director on that one. I don't think it should have been Danny Boyle. Everything else he has done, I have absolutely loved. Even controversial ones like Men. Loved it.
I love it.
I love how provocative he is. I love how it always links to something social political, and it's always trying to say something, and it's not necessarily comfortable. But I think the issue is not the pushback that he's getting on this film, Civil War. On every single one of the films he has decided to direct, and even the TV show he made with Devs, which if you haven't seen Devs, what the fuck are you doing with your life? No one watches what he makes. No one. No matter how well reviewed, they don't make any money. No one watches it. It happened with Annihilation. It happened with Ex Machina. And now this will probably be his biggest one. He's got the backing of A24. They're extremely popular at the moment. And I think it's, as you say, like he's someone, he takes things a bit personally. It's got to hurt when your films, especially what the trouble he went through with Annihilation was, he wanted that to release wide, but Universal decided to only release it in a very limited release for 2 weeks and then send it straight to Netflix because he wants to make films for a big screen. And that's got to happen. Like Annihilation on the TV is one of my biggest regrets that I have in my life, that I can't watch that. And I haven't watched that on a big screen with how beautiful some of the visuals are.
Is there a Blu-ray for Annihilation, Joe?
I don't know what I need to find out. That's a good point. Good things to spend my money on, payday. But I think that has a lot of it, where he's struggled to get these projects off the ground. And when he has, despite and Ex Machina is extremely well reviewed, same with Annihilation, Men a little bit less so. But he's struggled to get these things off the ground, and no one has come to see them. And he's gotten pushback on the issues he's decided to discuss on all of them as well. And now that's come to a head with this film, Civil War. Now, I'll be honest with Civil War. When I saw the first trailer, I was a bit like, this feels a bit vanilla for what Alex Garland is normally known for. It feels a bit of like an easy one of like, ooh, America in turmoil and states coming together to take on another unified America and stuff like that. But then I think when you look deeper at it, it's Alex Garland. He's going to do something with it. And Franco brought up the linking California, a typically very Democrat state, with Texas, a typically very Republican state. Isn't that a really good way of showing that these two sides are pretty much exactly the same and they're just as bad as each other? Like Franco pointed out about people from the right putting their manifestos and their fucked up things online and stuff like that, and we don't know how much the left have killed. Need I remind people how many bombs were dropped in countries under the reign of beloved President Barack Obama?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No. Wait.
They're not exempt.
Wait. Because Alex was speaking about the extremisms. It's not the extremism, because at this point in time, there's no Democrat or Republican. Biden himself, yes, pushed back against the migrants. So there's no exactly. What polarization are you talking about? That's the thing that was that I cannot because what's Biden doing is something out of the Republican playbook.
Yeah,
he's taking a page out of the Republican playbook.
I think, Joe, what Franco was referring to was what is the extreme left? When we talk about the extreme left, we know what the extreme right is, right? Yeah. That's very clear. But the extreme left, what violence, what killing does the extreme left really do?
No, listen, I'm not obviously there are
No, there are, but one-offs.
Tipo, do we have an equivalent of the Brigate Rosse in this day and age?
Exactly.
Like the guys who...
maybe not yet. You know,
but
typically more conservative groups of people tend to be more openly extreme.
Yeah, more militaristic with it as well.
As shown. But to just bring it back to the film, as I said, I wasn't too impressed with the first trailer, but then like reading more into it, seeing other trailers, stuff like that, I'm now very excited to see it. I will be seeing it as soon as it comes out, because it comes out here on the 12th, and I will go straight to the cinema to see that IMAX.
Jesus Christ, man! I'm so fucking jealous of you. When is? Let's see when it's coming out.
Hey, at least it comes out in Malta. At least we know it's coming out because you saw the trailer.
Yeah, no, for sure.
So that's already enough for me. By the way, Bruce saying Men was so underrated.
Completely underrated. Thank you, Bruce. We agree on something. Finally.
No, hot take. I'm not really into Men. Men was pandering. The horror. Look. Wait.
What?
So hold on. Hold on. The last 20 minutes were like, Jesus Christ! I've never seen anything like this. But I think it's quite. I think it's very, very, very on the nose. I know
it's definitely his most on the nose one that he did. But I feel like with that issue, especially when he made it, kind of needed to be hammered home.
Yeah.
It's an issue that still to this day, which persists really badly.
Look, it's not a question, to be honest, it's not a question whether you hammer it home or not. I mean, you can be subtle, you can be reasonable, you can be like, listen, this is what the fuck that you're doing. They're of the race. So it needs more than just a horror movie to like get the man thinking, I see what we're doing there.
I thought that he wrote Dread, man. Dread fucking rules if you haven't seen Dread. It's basically
Dread?
the raid.
No, Dread. Dread is
so good.
Dread.
That's Carler, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
What did Pete Travis do afterwards? Because this was such a good movie, man.
Such a good film. But no one saw it.
True. No one saw it. Gunman, Vantage Point, not bad.
Marie Antoinette. Director of Marie Antoinette.
On the TV series.
So mostly,
nothing too big.
There were rumors for years that there was going to be a Judge Dredd TV show, and Alex Garland wanted to write it, but it never got off the ground.
Yeah, never got off the ground.
Mm-hmm. He's worked on a lot of video games as well, Estrajo.
He has, yes. There was one, Enslaved Odyssey to the West, which is at the time one of my favorite PlayStation 3 games. But again, it seems to be a thing with Alex Garland. No one played this game.
And they're always highly rated. The thing is,
the people that did, they were like, wow, this is really, really good.
Oh, he did the remake of Devil May Cry.
Yeah. It probably has the most coherent story of a Devil May Cry game as well.
Yeah.
In Malta, Civil War in Malta comes out on the 19th April.
Okay, it's not
Sunshine. I would agree with that.
It's a true mood masterpiece. I haven't watched it. Sunshine.
Are you dissing Sunshine or are you praising it?
No, he's praising it. I agree.
Yes, Sunshine.
Modern.
It's a true modern.
Sunshine, hot take, is responsible for most of the tropes and visuals that we have in modern sci-fi films.
I haven't watched Sunshine.
Come at me.
Benedict Wong. Look at Benedict Wong.
Has one of
That's Cillian Murphy.
Yes. One of the best soundtrack moments in the climax of a film, like ever.
You're making me want to watch this. I'll watch this tomorrow, man, because tomorrow I'm free. Nice.
This is how much this movie is seared into my brain, because there was a moment where they go into the capsule or the ship, and all of a sudden you see these flashes of a frame, like, whoa, what's happening? I see. That's how much that was so good.
I'll check it out tomorrow. I'm really looking forward to watching it.
It's probably my favorite Danny Boyle movie.
There's also Shogun. The cast is
ridiculous. Yes, Chris Evans, Cliff Curtis, Michelle Yeoh, like
savage.
Hiroyuki
Sanada,
Benedict Wong, Mark
Mike
Strong.
Strong.
Such a good film.
Did you like Benedict Wong, Franco, in Three-Body Problem?
Three-Body Problem. He was one of the strongest points.
He's solid, he's really solid in
very solid
actor.
Yeah,
really
he was very like he was one of the fortes of Three-Body Problem. I like his character when he goes like they were saying about people don't believe in Santa Claus, and then he goes like ho ho ho.
Red, one of the most gritty comic book movies that no one saw. Lol. Yeah.
True.
Very true.
What film?
Even what's her
Dread.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
What's her name? The villain. She was also in Game of Thrones.
It was, the actress Lena Headey.
Esther, she was so good she was really like vicious. So good in it as well.
She's a really underutilized actress, that one, Astra. She is such a great actress. And I thought that after Game of Thrones, she would be like we'd be seeing her everywhere. But it's not how it's worked out. Like she's had some small roles here and there.
She kind of had a moment after she played a supporting role in 300.
Yes, she was the wife, right?
After that there was a TV series based in the
Terminator.
The Sarah Connor Chronicles, where she played Sarah Connor. And she had a bit of a moment then. But you're right, Game of Thrones should have been the one where she should have just gone with it.
Danny Boyle was going to use Coldplay's Fix You in the finale, but got cold feet. He seems to regret not going for it.
No.
For Sunshine?
No. It's the music they use is so much better. So much better than fucking Fix You by Coldplay. Thank God he didn't do that.
Oh my God. Speak of on the nose, though.
Joe, shall we get into the reviews? Because I know you have an hour on, so I will get your couple of reviews done. What do you want to start off with? Mena, by the way, viewers and listeners, if you're enjoying the podcast, we've derailed a little bit after talking about Alex Garland, but I mean, it's Alex Garland, right? There's so much to say about him, the guy. I'm guessing he's probably going to move into writing now and focus just on the writing element of it.
Yes.
And he's got Warfare as well coming out with A24, so that's weird because he's already got a contract with A24 for that.
Yeah, but he's co-directing that one, so I guess it doesn't technically count.
Maybe that.
But I imagine after that he'll just stick to writing.
He'll just write, and probably get less attention, right, from people if he's just the writer, not the director. He won't really be the face of the movie. Although he kind of was the face still for 28 Days Later, so...
I know, like, so I'm on the side of, like, no one directs his scripts better than he does.
True.
Alex Garland, yeah.
But it is what it is. He knows what's going on in his life. And if he's feeling the kind of like the pressure and
one last...
Yeah, Franco, go for it.
One last thing about Sunshine, Corridor Crew also praised it for how much it holds up. How much it still holds up.
It looks fantastic.
Yeah, as far as VFX go, and the opening shot, I saw Godzilla versus Kong on fire. We have thoughts. You were going to say, Joe, sorry.
No, I was just going to say the gold spacesuit that Hiroyuki Sanada has to wear at one point. It looks like a beefed up samurai suit, but for space, and it's fucking incredible. I can do a whole hour on Sunshine if you want.
Mela, let's get into the reviews. Franco, I think it's time to get into the reviews because Joe has to leave. So it's best if we get that done. If we get Joe's reviews done. So, viewers and listeners, if you're enjoying the podcast, please leave a like. Don't forget to subscribe if you enjoy what we do here. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell everyone. We love talking about movies and shows, as you can see. And we
love shitting on Harry Potter and Bad Boys.
No, we don't. No, we do.
We love it's our favorite thing.
No, we don't. But now we're going to get into the review section of the podcast. Like I said at the start in the introduction, we have a lot to review. So, Joe, what do you want to start off with?
I'll start with Immaculate.
All right, let's get into it. So, Immaculate.
And stay tuned. I'm gonna email the director. I'm not joking. I think we should.
By the way, Ash, we're going to be reviewing Godzilla vs. Kong: New Empire later on. We've got Immaculate, we've got Late Night with the Devil, we've got The Truth versus Alex Jones, and then we'll get into Godzilla x Kong. Go for it, Joe. Immaculate.
So, Immaculate. The story behind me watching this was last week on Monday and Tuesday, my friend David came to visit. David, friend of the show. People, if they went back to the Venice episode and a bit more before that, they'll know him very well. And basically, he was flying very late on the Tuesday, not until like 9 p.m. And we just said, like, fuck it, let's do a double bill. Like, we haven't done a double bill in a while. So we picked Immaculate and we picked Late Night with the Devil, with only like an hour between viewings as well. We picked Immaculate first on purpose because we thought it'd be the one that we'd like the least of the two. We ended up being correct. But yeah, so this is directed by Michael Mahon, or Mann. I don't know which way they'll pronounce it, to be completely honest. If you previously saw, I'm going to be very blunt here, but the very bad film The Voyeurs, he did that with Sydney Sweeney as well. To give this film one thing, it's actually got a very interesting way as to how it came to life, because apparently Sydney Sweeney auditioned for this role about 10 years ago and didn't get it, and then the film didn't get off the ground, and she's so far used her power to bring this film to life, because it's obviously something she was passionate about, I guess. But yes, so Cecilia, a woman of devout faith, is warmly welcomed to the picture-perfect Italian countryside, where she is offered a new role at an illustrious convent, but it becomes clear to Cecilia that her new home harbors dark and horrifying secrets. Now, I'm gonna throw a question to you guys. With that plot blurb and with the name Immaculate, what do you guys think this film is about?
I mean, I can imagine Immaculate, like Sydney Sweeney's character. Apparently, she will turn pregnant. No one will know who the father is. Like, she will not have sexual intercourse with anyone. Yeah. So it's God's child, but then turns out it's not God's child, it's the devil's child.
Look, that's where I'll give this film, not to spoil anything, it's a little bit different. It's a little bit different to that. But you are correct about an immaculate conception in this case. But anyway, so you have this American girl, Cecilia. She's gone all the way to Italy, kind of on a whim, because some priest said, like, basically reached out to her and said, look, like, we're looking for people to join our convent and stuff like that. She doesn't know Italian when she goes there, which is, I mean, already just like a bit weird. Like, wouldn't you try learn the language? Even though there's an actual scene in the book where they're opening her suitcase and there's a book. I'm not even kidding, guys. Italian for dummies, basically. I'll try not to spoil it, because like what I will say about this film is parts of it are very fun, and I wish it kind of steered a bit more into being a B movie, because the last 15 minutes completely become a B movie, whereas everything before that takes itself so seriously. So seriously. And then that just doesn't add up to me. It does try to be like very shocking with like bits of gore and stuff like that, which again felt very out of place in a film which is taking itself very seriously. And I just have to say, look, we all know Sydney Sweeney is a very attractive woman, right? We can all agree on that.
As just said, if this Sydney Sweeney doesn't look sexy in it, it's a miss.
Yeah, we can all agree on that. And it seems to be, I don't like, this is gonna sound maybe a bit like douchey of me, but this is just my observation, because I was a big fan of Sydney Sweeney's when she was in Euphoria and when she was in The White Lotus, because in those roles she works. In something, when I watch Anyone But You, she does not have comedic timing. I did not think she fit right in that film, especially alongside someone like Glenn Powell. She's terrible, Andrea. You just like her eyes and her big boobies. It's fine.
No, I do, but that's not the reason why.
But anyway, I think she works best when she's doing that kind of melodramatic, very manic type of character, like she was in Euphoria and similar to like she was in White Lotus. Now here she's trying to do something again a bit more serious, but like she just doesn't have the delivery necessary for this film, because again it's taking itself very seriously and these people are delivering lines in very well spoken Italian and they're pretty convincing. And then there's just like Sydney Sweeney there, and it's like, oh my god, like, I can't, and like it just takes me out of it straight away. But the thing I was trying to get to is there seems to be a thing in every project she is doing. At some point, her ample bosom is on display. In every project, bar The White Lotus. And in everything else I've seen her in, Ash said it. It's almost a guarantee, you know. But the way this film does it, at points, is so fucking unnecessary. And it's like, because a lot of people then will say like, oh, like male directors and the male gaze and stuff like that. And sometimes I think people have a point, and sometimes I think they're trying to put something where it doesn't exist. In this film, guys, there is a legit shot where she is pretty heavily pregnant and she's lying down in like a bath of water and she's floating. And the shot is basically on level with the water, and it's a close-up of her baby bump. And then it pans up and it stops for half a second at her boobs, and then it moves to her face. Like, come on.
I mean, Joe, it's the director of Wire, so what do you expect?
Exactly. I'm just like, come on. Why are you having scenes in this film that mean nothing of Sydney Sweeney wearing nothing but a see-through white dress and having a bath? Guys, there are 4 scenes. 4 like that, where nothing happens. She's just having a bath.
Joe, you just convinced Ash to watch it. Okay, now I have to watch to see this. Thanks for letting me know.
But again, listen, Joe, you have to see the interview with Mohan and Sydney Sweeney, and you'd be surprised. Even though it's a male gaze, you'd be surprised somehow, because my gaydar was beeping a bit.
But as well, like one of my theories.
That's like we lost one, guys. We lost Ash. Now he's
one of my theories.
We give this movie 2.5 boobies out of 5 boobies. Okay?
Stop convincing me, Joe. I don't want to spend more money at the cinema this week. No, you're just convincing everyone to watch it, by the way.
Well, it's not a very good, guys. If you want to see Sydney Sweeney's breasts, just go on Reddit or just Sydney Sweeney, and they will find you. Like, you don't need to go looking for them, because they're in everything that she's been in. And I'm not saying this as a negative thing. I want her to do well. She's very much a star at the moment. Everyone knows who she is. Fair fucking play, girl. You do you. And that's one of my theories. And again, could sound douchebaggy of me. I don't mean it to. But I do think, with her being on display in a lewd manner in most of the projects she's doing, I think she could be staring into the skate a little bit. And again, fucking more power to you, if that's what you want to do. I don't know. That's just me musing. But to speak about then the actual film, as I said, takes itself way too seriously for way too long, gets really ridiculous at the end, and especially the final scene is just batshit, and it's just not very good, guys. Like the part I enjoyed the most was when it went batshit, because I'm like, okay, we're doing something now. This is a swing, and you know me, I love a swing. Okay, and that was wild, but there's just a really I'm not going to say really dull. There's a fairly dull hour and 15 minutes of this film where it's a lot of people speaking very seriously in Italian, and Sydney Sweeney is being like, "Oh my God, what's going on?" And yeah, I didn't really enjoy it.
Someone, I don't know if you said it or someone else said it, but they said that this movie has this kind of giallo vibe going to it.
Yeah, I absolutely read about that.
No, it does not. It has nothing.
A lot of critics said that.
The critics are looking at everything through Sydney Sweeney fucking tinted lenses. That's what they're doing. Because at the moment, for some reason, she can do no wrong. I don't think anyone is being actually. Again, I could just be being a hater, but I admit I really liked her in Euphoria. I really like her in The White Lotus. Want her to do well, but I don't buy it at all.
It's no, you know what's funny? I don't like her in Euphoria. I like her a lot in Reality. I haven't seen her in White Lotus.
I haven't seen Reality, so I can't.
Reality was excellent.
Reality, she was really good in Reality. A very mature role as well.
Yes.
I thought Andrea's going to hate me. I thought she was terrible in Anyone But You, especially up against Glenn Powell, who's like the most charismatic person on earth.
I also didn't like her. You're muted, Andrea.
No, I'm not commenting.
He's just...
okay.
he's thinking about a different reason to come at me other than boobs.
No, it's like I agree with Joe on the Glenn Powell part, because Glenn Powell is super charismatic. Like, we've seen him in a lot of stuff now. So I agree completely on that. She has nothing on Glenn Powell. But at the same time, I think having watched her in Reality, having watched her in White Lotus, she's very good in that as well. She has a particular role she needs to take. A role where she's not 100% serious, And to be fair, in reality, the role was very serious though as well.
But like in Euphoria, it's totally serious. But then the best part about that is that she becomes a bit of a joke because of how melodramatic she is, and she's good at that. Like guys, I'm not saying she's a bad actress. She just has to do the right stuff. And I like that she got this film off the ground and used her own production experience to make
very passionate about this film.
It shows that she's willing to take these risks and try different things. And I've seen an interview with Michael Mahon before about the making of this film, and he was like, "Oh, like I'm not sure we should do certain things in the script." And Sydney Sweeney was like, "No, fuck it. I want to be covered in blood and like stuff like that." So she's game, which is great. It's great. I have a lot of praise for her. I don't think she was right. She was not very good in this.
Oscar worthy of Madam Web. Oh my god! Did you watch it, Ash? I watched Madam Web. Jesus Christ!
Oh god!
Film was horrific.
I have not watched that film yet. I need to find the day where I really hate myself.
That film was bad, even though there was Sydney Sweeney dancing on a table at one point in that film, and it was still bad. I cannot recommend watching it. Even though there's Sydney Sweeney dancing on a table.
No.
Jesus Christ, man. That was horrible. But Joe, I know you're in a hurry.
Oh my god.
Shall we move on to late night rating for Immaculate?
My rating, I would give it a 2 out of 5 because the part I enjoyed the most was the part where it went a bit wild, and I wished more of it was like that. It's competently shot, you know. And again, like the idea is pretty good, what they went with, and it is a little bit of a twist on that kind of like Rosemary's Baby type genre, but it is far from complete.
All right, it is Ash. Totally.
No, Ashley, you're being offensive to dog shit now. I mean, come on.
We're talking about Madam Web, by the way, right now. Fuck the watch list. You completely convinced Bruce to watch it, Joe, by the way. Completely convinced.
Yeah, Bruce has just unveiled himself as a pervert, but then again, most of us are. As David Fincher says, everyone on earth is a pervert, so.
Yep.
Well, Joe, I've been really excited for this one. When I watched the trailer, I was like, okay, something's going on here. Yes. I love David Dasmalchian. I think he's one of the most underrated actors out there.
Completely agree.
So, your thoughts?
Yes. Forever polka dot man.
To me, he's actually forever the weird guy in The Dark Knight.
That's true. That's very true.
That's the first time I saw him. I'm like, there's something fucking funky about this guy straight away.
He's such a good creep, man. He's such a good creep.
But in this film, so Late Night with the Devil, originally released in 2023, but for us released in 2024, I believe it's a directorial duo, and I believe they're brothers, or at least family, the Cairns siblings. Why did I have balloons on my screen?
I think it's something to do with Boomkasa, because even when I do like, there used to be like fireworks. See?
So I was doing this. How does this make? But anyway,
I think like this. You have to do like this.
Yeah, we'll see. So yeah, Late Night with the Devil. This is about a fictional television program, similar to like you'd have like a David Letterman or something like that. About this guy, I forget his actual name in the film, but played by David Dasmalchian in an actual starring role for a change, which is nice because I do like him a lot. So yeah, a live television broadcast in 1977 goes horribly wrong, unleashing evil into the nation's living rooms. So what we do have here is, I'll say off the bat, a very unique and fresh take on not one, but two genres. So that's a very big deal in my opinion. The genres being found footage and being possession horror. Because obviously the film is Late Night with the Devil, you will expect possession to be part of that. So the whole film is framed as you are watching the old recorded tapes of this TV show from this very night. So it's about this TV presenter who had this illustrious career and he had the perfect wife, but then things start to go downhill and he's always fighting for ratings with a rival of his. And he's got this show, Night Owls, that's his thing, where he gets like oddball characters on it and stuff like that. And he's trying to do something wild for Halloween, where he's determined to get his life back after this tragedy which happened to him, which I won't spoil. So he brings in, first and foremost, a medium who can apparently like detect like dead in the room. He brings a skeptic on, a guy who's like all about science, who's a debunker of like ghosts and stuff like that. And the last person he brings on is this young girl, Lily, I believe her name was, along with her psychiatrist. And Lily's whole thing is that she was taken in by Satanists, but then their church had burned down. She was the only one to survive. And she apparently has this demon in her. And that's as far as I'll go in terms of like plot revelations of what this does. But it's really like it was really cool to like sit back and watch it. And as I said, it's got that kind of like, not gimmick, but it's a plot device for it, where it's like you're watching the tape of an old TV show. So you're sitting there like you're wondering where the show is going to go and when like the titular devil like guest is going to come on, basically. And you're getting like these ad breaks here and there. And in between the ad breaks, what they do is then the film it switches to black and white, and it's like then like a moving, roving camera on like behind the scenes of the set, where you're getting like little like extra details about the characters and stuff like that. And it's got an incredible build up. Like so good. I was so invested. Like I was definitely in. The only thing that did lose me a bit, because there's some like actually genuinely like unsettling stuff on it, because you feel like you're like if you were at home watching this go on, and the skeptic character is making like it's good to have him there, because the skeptic character is basically the audience in all of this, which again is a very clever thing which they did. I did feel though with the way its final 10 minutes unfolds, it was maybe trying to do a bit too much in what it wanted to do. I would have preferred it was a bit simpler. It does go quite effects heavy at the end, and it is. I mean, it's not bad special effects. Like it's not like some of like the Marvel films that we've seen, but it's certainly not like the Creator special effects where like you can't tell what's real and what's not. So the budget does show at certain points in this film. I mean, it's a Shudder original film, so they're not always the highest budgeted films, but I really love what they did with the concept. And again, it's a swing, and I love a swing. So for the most part, I really liked it. It went a little bit too off book at the end for me, because I was really into it where it was going, and it started to get a little bit crazy. I'm like, okay, but then it kind of like flipped the gear and went a bit over crazy. And I'm like, don't know if you fully needed to do that. Like maybe there are better ways you could have gone about that. But all in all, very, very glad I watched it. Very glad I watched it after Immaculate, because I enjoyed this a lot more. Extremely well paced at only an hour and a half. That's actually one thing I'll give Immaculate. It's only an hour and a half long, so you don't waste too much of your life watching that film. But no, I really, really enjoyed Late Night with the Devil. I recommend it to all horror fans. It's very unique. It's fresh. It's nice to see like a unique take on these kinds of genres. And the man himself, David S. Malchin, really, really, really great in this, and playing a character like he has never ever played before, because normally he's these oddball weirdo types, you know, but in this he's not. He's meant to be like this handsome, successful, suave kind of TV host, and he pulls it off.
Nice.
I have to sorry to rain on Donia Parade. I don't think it's fresh. As far as possession goes, yes, it's fresh. But as far as the format goes, there was Ghost Watch. It was a BBC one-off experience. But this was more about a ghost. And the format is that it's based, like it looks as if it's done live. And it was on BBC. It's very similar to what they're trying to do with
I've never heard of that one, but I'll definitely look it up. But again,
look it up.
If this is the second of its kind of like a live broadcasting presented as like found footage, I would still say that's fairly fresh, when usually found footage is someone walking around and you see the recording symbol in the top and stuff like that. This isn't like that.
No. I mean, Ghost Watch, for what it is, this was back in 1992, so you'll see the dating of it. But at the time, it was like when they said how much Threads was really terrifying at that point in time. The Ghost Watch was also terrifying, and there are moments where I was also like genuinely like, what the fuck, as well.
Yeah.
And I look for, by the way, this saying that I also look forward a lot with Late Night with the Devil, right?
Late Night with the Devil. Nice. Rating, Joe, do you have a rating for it?
For me, it was very solid 4 out of 5. As I said,
Nice.
it's just that the ending went a little bit too out of left field for me.
Nice.
It was bordering on a 4.5 for me, but it is solid. If I had to really wheedle it down, it's probably like a 3.8. But no.
Nice. I've been looking forward to watching this one. When I watched the
It's
trailer,
good. You guys will enjoy it, and it's actually one because of its format. I think will do well at home.
Nice. Yes.
I don't think this is coming out in the cinemas here, so TV
we'll
it
see.
will have to be. Very good stuff. Franco, do you want to do Truth versus Alex Jones next?
Yep.
Joe, do you need to leave?
I do need to leave, unfortunately, because my laptop's actually going to die very soon.
All right. Thanks a lot for joining us, Joe. It was a blast having you on.
Thank you, Joe.
We have the
Pleasure
review
seeing you back as well.
and Godzilla X Kong, so you're not missing out on much.
Enjoy. I should be back next week with hopefully, and you guys will get very annoyed. Hopefully, a review for Monkey Man.
Oh, Franco, it's coming out in Malta. That's all we can. I mean, right now I'll take it. It's coming out late. It's coming out.
How late?
Quite late.
I think a week. No, 2 weeks after. 2 weeks after you.
It comes out on Friday over here.
2 weeks after, I think.
So we have Stormin coming out on the 5th of April. There's.
I need to go see that as well. I have both of those. Okay.
Back to Black on the 12th. Monkey Man on the 17th. Jesus. Monkey Man on the 17th.
Sorry?
Monkey Man on the 17th
Joe?
of April.
So there's a lot of films this month. It could be a decent month.
Yeah, and Civil War on the 19th. Then that's it. That's the month. And then Challengers comes out on the 26th.
Yeah, hopefully I'll have
Challengers is coming out in Malta.
Yes. The Zendaya threesome movie. Yes.
Yes, we are all perverts.
Fincher was right.
Too much testosterone. Ciao,
Yeah.
Joe.
Yeah, guys, have a good one. Always a pleasure.
Ciao, Joe. Always a blast.
Always a pleasure.
Ciao. Mela, Franco, want to move on to the Truth versus Alex
Jones. So, quick summary about it's a documentary. So, centers on families of the victims of the 2012 Sandy Hook shooting, the very tragic shooting that happened at an elementary school in America. And they take Alex Jones, a conspiracy theorist, to court for spreading lies about the event being a hoax. For those of you who are follow American politics, Sandy Hook was it's not a tragic, it was a terrorist attack. Funnily enough, speaking of manifestos, this guy also said that he did this because of women, and somehow he targeted kids as well. 27 victims of the shooting, and it basically destroyed the lives of many a family back in the day. Nothing practically changed, but the worst thing that had happened is that for over 10 years, Alex Jones kept insisting that this was a false flag operation for the government to remove guns. Somehow they said that all these kids did not exist, or either did not exist, or that they were still alive and their parents were hiding them somewhere. And so, speaking structurally, formally about the documentary, doesn't reinvent the wheel. Very simple talking heads and cutaways of documentary, but it does show the vileness of certain people, like how far they'd go to lean into their grift, basically, because much of it was also done for him to sell supplements, his supplements. Like every single time they show like graphs where every single time he mentions Sandy Hook, there was an uptick in both death threats and harassment against the parents of the children, and also like an uptick in orders for the Alex Jones, the Infowars supplements. This movie will make you angry. I also cried at the moment because there's one particular moment where this mother is recounting a story where she gets into an elevator, she gets into a lift. This woman goes into the lift with her, and she's like, "Oh, you're the mother of that kid of Sandy Hook, right?" And she's like, "Yes, I'm the one." And this woman goes to the mother like, "How dare you? How really dare you lie about such stuff?" And the mother was speechless. I actually also cried when one of the parents puts on. There are many testimonies about losing your child. It's no joke losing a child. And then to have at least, there was a moment where a quarter of the American population did not believe these people. Like 25% of the population in America did not believe the parents.
Madonna.
And it's obviously the end takes a very liberal tone that nothing really changed, to be honest, because the parents wanted it to like make truth great again, for lack of better terms, but it did not. We're still in a post-truth era. Watch it again, even though it doesn't reinvent the wheel. It's a very riveting watch, like as much as Quiet on Set watch was, and at least that smidgen of justice was given, because this scene in particular where they show with Anderson Cooper. This scene in particular, they actually manipulated the footage. They actually manipulated the footage to make it look as if they like Anderson Cooper wasn't there. Like and all they needed is just a cut, just an awkward cut, just a very awkward cut for them to glitch out the footage and say, okay, there must be something. But yeah, some people are so deep down the rabbit hole that even L is like, brother, Anyway, check it out. It's a 4 out of 5 for me. Again, 4 out of 5 because at the end of the day, justice was not really served. Alex Jones is still on it, is still doing his own thing. Like that's the way the cookie crumbles.
Yep. So 4 out of 5 for The Truth versus Alex Jones. I've heard a lot of praise for it. And lots of praise for the documentary.
Watch it, and it angered me a lot. Like because you cannot possibly. It's because even to the very end, Alex Jones was insufferable to the very end. Even in the face of like the mother is in front of you, and it's like you're trying to make her look like the mother's in front of you. You go sorry, and then 15 minutes later you go on your program and you still say your own shit. It's like anyway.
Moving on to the final review of the day. So, viewers and listeners in the chat, if you're enjoying the podcast so far, I kindly remind you to leave a like the video. A like does not cost anything for you, but it is worth a lot for us. And if you have not done so already,
appease the algorithm gods.
Yes, please do. And don't forget to subscribe. Your subscription means a lot to us.
Quickly, before we continue. So, 2 things. Please do give a watch to for the interview of Ahmad Daneliu about Tiger Stripes. Yes. It's a very interesting 40-minute conversation with the director. Very sweet person. And also, I will be seeing you on Thursday 4th for just a second. And on Thursday 4th, there's also going to be Richard Starkey's festival for the April Fools.
Yeah,
Bruce is in it.
Before we get to that, Franco, this is the interview that Franco had. Unfortunately, I was sick, so I could not take part in this. But this is the interview Franco had. It's a great interview. Really fun, really touch on to really interesting stuff. What inspired her. You get into the main protagonist of the movie. Really good stuff, really good stuff. So check it out. You're going to enjoy it. It's a fantastic 38-minute interview. Now, Richard Starkey's, what's the name of the event, Franco? The comedy.
I think Bruce can also tell us as well, please. I think it's Comedy Shorts, April Fool's Comedy Shorts Festival.
Yeah, April Fool's Short Film Challenge. And we actually got to choose the nominations, which are the ones you're going to see on screen right now. The nominations for the Best Actor Award. We got 5 nominations in total. Mike West for Justice for All, Cassandra Spiteri for Justice for All, Simone Spiteri for Desperate Measures, Bruce Micalefino for Right and Left, and Andrew Bonello for I Am Flying. I think 5 very, very good performances. There were some very strong shorts. We'll review them all the week after. So the show, Franco, is on Thursday. Right, it's on Thursday. Yeah, it's
at St. James.
At St. James. Unfortunately, I cannot be present because I have another show. I had bought tickets for with my girlfriend. My girlfriend had bought tickets for a concert, so I won't be able to make it. But I've watched all the shorts. Me and Franco discussed the Best Actor nominations, and they are the ones you can see on screen. We'll be talking about all the shorts then in the next podcast on Monday. So on Monday.
And we'll also be giving the prize for Best Audience Reaction on the night.
That'll be up to Franco because I won't be there. So Franco will decide on the Best Audience Reaction. I have a feeling. I know which one will have the best reaction. But obviously, that's Franco will be up to you. You'll see what is the best reaction on the night. I'm so pissed off at myself for not having enough time to enter. Honestly, I'm so mad. Ash, great opportunity. There's going to be video nasties next year. Anyway, this year.
Ash, I have some ideas. I have some ideas for video nasties. If you want to be part, like I have like 3. Remove you're still sharing, by the way.
Yeah, better if I switch it off. Yeah. What were you saying about the shorts you have in mind?
I have a few shorts in mind. Like one, I'm going to work with Bruce about it, doing some good research right now, and also with Cassandra. And I also have 2 more ideas I have to discuss for video nasties, because this festival actually like solidified my FOMO. The last year's video nasties was like, let's see, now I feel I want to do something, and this one solidified it. There were some really strong entries in this festival, but as Andrea said, we will be reviewing all of them next week on the Ad Lib Podcast. In the meantime, like, comment, subscribe, follow us on Instagram. Horror is not really your thing. Well, never hurts to try. And another thing, follow us on Instagram at the podcast.
Yes, please do. We
TikTok.
Post a lot on Instagram. I put up a lot of reviews and comments about what's going on in the TV and film world. Franco is working hard on the thumbnails and working hard on the animated kind of like stuff to make it more interesting. Hopefully that helps us with the views, and hopefully that makes more people aware of what we're doing here at the Ad Lib Podcast.
Exactly.
Final movie, definitely last but not least, Godzilla X Kong, the new empire. Do you want me to introduce it, Franco?
Go for it.
So, Godzilla X Kong, the new empire, just as an introduction, because I think people know where I'm going with my thoughts here. I actually quite enjoyed most of the legendary Monsterverse kind of stuff. I really, really enjoyed the original Godzilla of 2014. That was excellent stuff. I think Gareth Edwards did a great job. I really, really enjoyed Kong Skull Island. I had a blast watching that. Really fun. And even I really enjoyed Godzilla King of the Monsters, as much as that was critically panned and not a lot of people went to watch it. I had a very good time watching it. Godzilla versus Kong, I wasn't the biggest fan of. I gave it a 2.5 when it came out. I remember reviewing it. And then, obviously, we had, what was the show, Franco? What was the show that came out?
Legacy
of Monsters, which I thought petered out a little midway through, but ended very strong. Ended very, very strong. So I enjoyed that a lot as well. Maybe not a lot. I did quite enjoy it, though. I did have a good time watching it. So that's my thought. So I'm not a hater for these kinds of movies. Anyways, so what happens? In the film, we've got Kong, who encounters more of his species in the Hollow Earth and must unite with Godzilla to stop their tyrannical leader and a powerful climate-changing titan from destroying the surface. You're going to be surprised, but didn't love it. No, I did not love it either. Ash, I did not love it either. So the movie is set a few years after defeating Mechagodzilla, where we see Kong kind of like establishing his territory, right, in the Hollow Earth. And we've got Godzilla on Earth's surface. He's kind of like doing his best to make sure that any Titan anomalies are destroyed. And he also finds
along with historical landmarks on the way as well,
including the pyramids, and finding a very interesting place to sleep, the Colosseum. after defeating a Titan there, I think Sheila was the one that he defeated. Yeah, the spider one. Yeah. Anyways, the plot kind of starts then when we've got this signal, right, which is spotted kind of like by Monarch, and the young girl, what's her name? Gia also starts to get these like visions. She starts to draw kind of like the what's it called? Those lines. Those spikes, kind of like those spikes. Yeah. So they decide that it's time to travel to Hollow Earth. For some reason, they get the podcaster with them, the podcaster, Bernie Hayes. Well, with an actually quite funny Brian Tyree Henry. We've got Rebecca Hall as well there as the PhD doctor. Eileen Andrews. There's a trapper as well, Dan Stevens, who I would say is probably the actor who is having the most fun in this movie. He kind of like understood the assignment here. And there's Alex Ferns as well there as Mikhail. It doesn't last too long. And they go down to Hollow Earth to try to locate the source of the signal. And that kind of like gets the plot going, right? But these are supposed to be my type of films. Like Godzilla versus Kong, I felt was miles better. I'm going to get into that in a second. Ash, I'm going to get into a second. So I have to, unfortunately, I hate comparing and contrasting films, but I feel like it would be criminal to say that as I was watching this film, I was constantly thinking about another film, Godzilla Minus One. And the reason why I was constantly thinking about Godzilla Minus One was because Godzilla Minus One did a really good job in making you care about what's going on in the story, what's going on with regard to the characters, making you care about the actual characters, right? And I was constantly thinking to myself, why is it so hard for these movies to try and make you care about the people in it? Why is it so hard? I really do not get why it is so hard. Now, I understand the focus here is on the kaiju battles, on the Royal Rumble between all these titans. I understand completely. But if you're going to spend so much time with the human characters, at least give them something to do. Give them something. Like, it's shocking how bad the human characters were in this movie. Like, it's shocking how bad they are. Godzilla Minus One was really well written. It was, and that's the sad thing about it, right? Because Godzilla Minus One is an excellently written movie, whereas this is not. This is not an excellently written movie. Actually, quite the opposite. The other shocking thing for me, Franco, was there were very few moments to remember. Very few memorable moments. I can think of maybe 2 or 3. Godzilla sleeping in the Colosseum, like Andreas said, that is memorable, right? Everyone's going to remember Godzilla sleeping in the Colosseum. I think the first showdown between Kong and Scar King was very well done. At that moment, I was like, okay. I was watching the film like this. And then suddenly I'm like, ooh, okay. Now we're in it. Now we're in it. And it was well done. It was very well done. I think the ape scenes were well done. Obviously not done with dialogue. I think it's all well portrayed. CGI in those scenes was very well done, I think, as well. So overall, those scenes were good. And the final battle is fun. But again, the final battle really isn't that memorable. Nothing really wow happens. Right?
It's basically what I would say is he was trying to do the same exact thing in Godzilla versus Kong, but instead of Hong Kong, he did it in Rio de Janeiro. Rio de Janeiro doesn't have the, I mean, going on what Ash said, you're right. I also agree. Like Godzilla versus Kong was better. It was the action was punchy. The last battle with those neon lights was so good looking. It was so gorgeous. Yeah, Ethan is also right. Godzilla Minus One was really well written. But I think we're seeing the Marvelization of the Monsterverse as well. That's what I said, because it was so like. Bear with me a second, because I have a monster here in my room. But I think.
Okay.
Mux nemuża dubbina, like there was a fly. But okay, it's sorted. Yeah. This was bloated for me as well, because thinking about it, the CG, it was almost like a kid doing graphics for the first time. Don't get me wrong, beautiful, but then like every single time I was thinking about it, like how huge is Hollow Earth? I don't think it's massive. I mean, okay, I understand that our Earth is massive as well, but does it have that much space? It felt bloated for me. Even certain, like the moment where Godzilla roars up and there's the helicopter passing by, it happened. It's what happened to you as well, Andrea. That I thought about the moment when Godzilla Minus One did the same thing, and somehow the Godzilla Minus One was much more memorable. Like goosebumps inducing when you see him coming out of the smoke as well. Like,
Yep.
But it is.
What did you think about
unfortunate.
Franco?
Dan Stephens was decent. I mean, like you said, it seems like he was understanding the assignment. By the way, there were certain awkward edits. There was a moment where Rebecca Hall's character goes like. Just a 2-second shot where she goes like what is happening? What is this? Yeah, as said, like the ending fight was mad.
Yes, quite mad. Hey, Stram. I mean, not bad. I wouldn't call it a bad fight sequence, but the Godzilla versus Kong, as much as I wasn't a big fan of that either, much more memorable. Much more memorable. The location itself was already amazing location for Godzilla versus Kong.
And also something that was bothering me a whole lot was the crash zooms. Too much crash zooms, man.
Oh, Madonna, those zooms. Madonna, so annoying. I can't stand them. I cannot for the life of me stand them. Those zooms. It was like, oh, this is not a documentary, dude. It's Godzilla X Kong. Godzilla X Kong. Jesus Christ, man. And it's such a pity as well because the actors are not bad on screen. There's Rebecca Hall, Brian Tyree Henry. They're decent actors, and if you give them something to work with, they're going to. But there's nothing to work with. Nothing to work with. Oh, it's so upsetting. I'm not a fan of this film. I am not a fan of this film at all. When you think about, I'm seeing the original 2014 Godzilla, and how many memorable scenes there were. This scene here, this scene dropping.
The airdrop.
Madonna, so good. Now
with the Ligeti soundtrack as well.
Yes, so good. Really good stuff. Well deserved, Bruce, by the way, for the nomination. Very well deserved for the nomination. Really great stuff. Very different.
Bruce, then will you pay us the agreed price, okay, for the nomination?
But talking about Godzilla X Kong, not about Bruce's short, by the way. The dialogue and the writing is awful. I wanted to mention that. Really awful.
Very expository. Very expository.
It's like during the fight scene between, and this really ruined the fight scene between Kong and Scar King. You have them fighting, and at the same time, you have Rebecca Hall's character explaining what's going on screen. And I'm like, yes, I have eyes. I can see that they have a Titan underground. I can see that the Titan is going to defeat Kong. You don't need to tell me as well. Like, why is she explaining exactly what's going on screen? I don't get it. They treat their viewers like idiots. Idiots. They think no one can understand what's going on. And this is not fucking Space Odyssey, 2001 Space Odyssey. It's not like there's some massive, crazy concepts, really hard to understand, which need a bit of an explanation. It's Scar King has a Titan. That Titan defeats Kong. Wow. Man, I really needed that explained to me. I really needed a lot of exposition during the fight sequence to understand what's going on. Like 2 hours of exposition. 2 hours of exposition. Oh, it's not this hard to write a Godzilla Kong movie and give us just characters with something to do. First of all, I think that's the bare minimum, right? Characters with something to do. And characters we care about. Because we don't care about any of the characters here. We just want to see them squashed so we can get to the actual action. I would have clapped if they just squashed all the human characters and gotten into the action. I would have clapped and applauded them. Oh, Jesus Christ, man. That dialogue is so grating. Listen, I wouldn't even call it that fun. Because I am not the kind of person who will review a film and be like, even though it was fun, I think I'm going to give it a bad rating because it's not a great film. If I have fun, that's enough to at least give it a pass. A 2.5 or maybe even a 3 if I have fun. But I really didn't have much fun watching this film. That's the sad thing. That's the sad thing. Right? That's the sad reality. Did you have fun watching this, Franco?
I think about it. Not as much as what's it called? Not as much as Godzilla versus Kong, for sure. I mean, like I said, it was dumb, but there's the moment where it was too dumb. Yeah.
And everything. Nothing makes sense. Like, oh, look, we have the exact person we need to release Mothra. Oh, of course you do. Oh, look, we have the exact technology we need to give Kong a new hand. Oh, of course we have the perfect technology. And the technology is not technology. Now it's magic. Now it's magic. Now it's like the Iron Man tech in Avengers Endgame. That's not technology. Yeah, it's magic.
True. Even when there was the robotic arm, like, am I watching Iron Man or what am I watching?
Like, it's no longer. I understand futuristic technology, and I know that it's Godzilla X Kong, so obviously it needs. But there's a point where you're like, gee, you remember when they went in to pull out the tooth? Frank, I was like, Like,
What
this
is happening?
This is too much. This is too much. Too much. I'm sorry. I'm all in for having fun. Like I said, I loved the 24 Godzilla. Really fun with Kong's Island because the human element was really well. Some really fun, really well done characters. I had a really, really, really good time watching the Godzilla King of the Monsters as well, as much as it was a bit of a mess as well. I'm all in for that. And I had an okay time watching Godzilla versus Kong. I didn't mind it. I thought the final battle sequence was excellent. I thought the scene on the ship was really well done as well. The rest of it was rubbish. Total rubbish for me personally. So I'm willing to have fun. I just could not have fun watching this. I'm sorry, I could not have fun. It has like, I know it has like a 92% on Rotten Tomatoes audience rating. It has like a 50-something% from the critics. So apparently the majority of people like it. So
Like it.
So Ash said it was okay, but yeah, the previous one was better. I expected as the reviews were good, but it let me down. Maybe I was overhyped. I went in with quite decent expectations, Ash as well, because I try not to see reviews about movies I'm going to review myself, but sometimes they just pop up on social media. You can't help it. And the Rotten Tomatoes for Godzilla X Kong came up for me, so I knew that the ratings from critics were decent. They're around 60, 58, 59 percent, which is good for a film like this. But I too was very, very disappointed. My rating for Godzilla X Kong is a 2 out of 5. What about you, Franco?
I went more for a 2.5 out of 5.
Okay, fair enough.
But so I was a bit more, like I said, I was a bit more forgiving maybe, because I did laugh at it as well. So like with Fast X as well, I wasn't really like, it was so ridiculous. But Fast X is like, there was so many moments where I rolled my eyes, and I went to like, it was a 2 on 5 as well. Anyway, but yeah, it is between a 2 and a 2.5, to be honest. Which is a shame.
Yep.
And again, unfortunately, Chris Tuckman said it best. This movie had the blessing of being released after Godzilla -1, and also the curse of being released after Godzilla -1.
Yep, exactly. For some reason, this boomcaster got us stuck in this. Anyways, the podcast is over anyway, so we can stop it.
Solid.
I'm trying
solid
to
1
stop.
hour 50 minutes.
Yep.
From sharing.
Yep, stop it. Anyways, we can end it like this. So viewers and listeners, thank you for joining us on this podcast. A bit shorter than usual, but really did not have much with regard to trailers to talk about, not even with news. Just one bit of news that we could have talked about, but I mean, not that important, is Godzilla X Kong is actually the highest grossing opening, making around 198 million worldwide. So we didn't like it. A lot of people went to watch it. It's making a lot of money. March was a really good month. For the box office, it's between Dune,
For sure.
and Kung Fu Panda 4, all very successful movies. So it's a good month for cinemas. And we love cinema, and that's why you come here every week to watch the Ad Lib Podcast. And if you don't, make sure you do, because we have a weekly podcast. This podcast comes out every week, Monday at 8:30 p.m. Central European Time, always live here on the Ad Lib Podcast. Thank you so much, Franco, as always. Always a blast.
Thank you very much, Andrea, as always.
Always a blast to talk about films and shows.
And yep.
Next week, I'll actually review Dragon's Dogma 2, because I finally got it. And next week, I'll actually review it. I played a bit of it. I played like 10, 15 hours, I think, so far. Not enough to review it. But I'll have a bit more time this week to play. So I'll review it. So far, with regard to the microtransactions, they're not in your face. They're pretty hidden, pretty well hidden. So I can tell the developers really didn't want the microtransactions, because they're really hidden. Like, if I didn't know they existed, I would have no idea they exist. Like, they're really well hidden. So there's that. So I respect the developers for that. But we'll talk about that more next week. That's just a hint as to what's coming next week. So thank you so much to our viewers and listeners. Leave a like, subscribe, do all that jazz. Follow us on Instagram. Please follow us on Instagram. We work hard on that Instagram. Share this with your friends. Share this with your family. And with that, peace out. Ciao, ciao.
Ciao. Free Palestine Day.